Okay, hey guys, the lessons from now until December, December 19th will be benchmark review. Some of these lessons will be old and some of them will be new, but we're going to review. Remember, the benchmark is 10% of your grade, so do your best to learn this material. I offer tutorings in class on Wednesdays from 3:30 till 4:30, so if you need time then, you can come there also, and you can get help with whoever you need to get help with reviewing this information. So the first thing we're going to start with is benchmark review for trigonometry. We're covering the standards of using trig ratios to solve problems, and knowing that the ratio of the sides of a right triangle lead to the trig ratios. And we're going to talk briefly about complementary angles. What you're going to learn, or rather review in this video, is what a ratio means, when to use Pythagorean's theorem, that was done yesterday, and how to determine where the angle of depression and the angle of elevation go. The key vocabulary: a ratio is anything that's written in the form of A over B or A to B. Angle of depression means when something falls out the sky. The angle made in between, that's the angle of depression. Angle of elevation, when something comes from the ground and go up. Right here is the angle of elevation. The trig ratios can be found with SOHCAHTOA, or some old hood rat called another hood rat taking off Adidas. Adidas, where sine is opposite over hypotenuse, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, and tan is opposite over adjacent. And Pythagorean's theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. I want to explain this angle of elevation, angle of depression again. If you look here, I'm going to draw the angle of elevation. This orange line right here. The angle in between is the angle of elevation. And then I'm going to draw this green line. Let me extend the orange. This green line up here, where this is falling out the sky. And this up here is an angle of depression. If you notice, angle of elevation, so this is angle of depression and this is angle of elevation. These two angles are actually the same, and I am going to form a quadrilateral here where you can see the right angles here. So if you know your angle of depression and you only know parts, you can always flip it and flip it over to an angle of elevation. That's the trick with these two. They're exactly the same, just in different locations. Alright, so let's try this problem together. It says use the figure shown to find sine of M. So here is angle M up here. So I'm going to put my marking here and I'm going to label these sides. The side that's across from the right angle is the hypotenuse. The side next to that the marking is on is called the adjacent, and the side that you can't touch is called the opposite. So this asks me to find sine of that angle. Well, our SOHCAHTOA, that's our first step here, is we're going to write down that SOHCAHTOA. Or you can use whatever sentence you want to use to remember it. Then your step 2 would be to label your sides. And then of course step 3 is solve the problem. So if I look here, it asks me for sine, so I'm going to use SOHCAH of this, which is opposite over hypotenuse. So that means sine M equals, the opposite is 10, and the hypotenuse is the square root of 149. So that's the answer to that. Okay, so what I want you guys to do is to go through, try this one on your sheet, this one that's on your sheet, this one that's on your sheet, and that is all, and I will see you guys in class on tomorrow.